unfortunately for everybody here in Niagara Falls, we got to see a little bit of the eclipse. And
yes, we did.
That
was great.
Some of the cheering now. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
As we take a look around the falls, and people have not moved. They are still looking up, enjoying the partial eclipse now. I bring in Jeremy Hansen. He is a Canadian Space Agency astronaut who has been at the falls with us for the past few days. And Jeremy, you're going to be on Artemis 2, of course, the mission. We'll talk a little bit about that.
I'm going to be looking over your shoulder here, Daryl.
Hey, make sure you put on your glasses.
Well, we're still pretty safe. We got a lot of cloud cover. But
That's true.
That was actually, I think, exceeded expectations.
Well, I mean, when your expectations start off with just clouds everywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't think we were going to get anything. How did you feel when it finally poked through?
I felt like success because we all really wanted to see it in totality, and we might have only saw it for 5 seconds, but we did get to see it, and we could see the corona, and that was just very special for me. So I really like that. And then when it passed totality, it was like this amazing, hopefully the camera captured it, but it's like that amazing sunrise just coming across the clouds. Actually, the clouds kind of made a nice backdrop for it, so that was pretty special.
That was very unique, very special. I'm so glad and a little relieved that we got to see a little bit of it. That was the moon passing in front of the sun. You're going around the moon in September of 2025, currently scheduled for that. You'll be the first Canadian to do so. You just saw a real special moment. That's another one. What are your thoughts on getting ready to take that big trip?
You can imagine I have a lot of thoughts about Artemis 2 and what Reed, Christina, Victor, and I are getting ready to undertake. But if I have to boil it down, a lot of it comes down to pride. I'm really proud of humanity for taking on these big challenges. I'm really proud of the United States for their leadership, for creating this opportunity where other countries can express our genius, bring real contributions to the program. And now Canada is going to be the second country in the world to send a human into deep space. And it's got nothing to do with me. It has to do with the genius that the world is sharing. I just love that.
That's amazing. Want to mention real quick, we are in full totality up at Tupper Lake, New York, not far from here in northeastern New York. We're here in western New York where light is continuing to shine and get a little bit brighter. It really is special, and we really felt that in the 4 days that you were here interacting with the public. Was that your sense?
There's a lot of excitement around this celestial event that's happening and around space exploration in general, which I find really uplifting. I don't think space exploration solves all the problems or challenges of the world, but I do believe is one of the pillars of those solutions. It doesn't matter what problem you're looking at, space plays a role. And I love it when I see our youth getting fired up about, asking me, how do I work at NASA? How do I work at the Canadian Space Agency? We're on the US side here, but I've had some Canadians come up to me. It's just something that brings us together, this, the spirit of humanity. Just like this experience we're having here, it's a very, it feels like community. We're all out here, just humans, just being humans and sharing something special.
And sharing it together was really neat, that communal part that you talk about. Like, I felt a little bit of a bond with everybody here now. Yeah. You as well. Appreciated seeing you and having dinner the past few nights. Just happened to work out coincidentally.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the time. Great words today, and we will all be rooting you on for your mission coming up in September of next year. So good luck. Be safe. We'll be rooting you and your crew on. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, we'll take it. I appreciate that. And I don't know if you saw it when you're on camera because you were busy, but the birds, they just went nuts in totality. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
They're all up here. They came out of the woodwork. I mean, there's been birds all day, but it was sort of like birds filling the sky. I thought that was really neat to see. Anyway, thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Fill that out in your citizen science journal. Make sure you put that in there because we're doing that. All right, thank you, Jeremy. And I just want to say thank you also to New York State Parks, Niagara Falls specifically. We couldn't have done this without you. So thank you very much. Definitely. We're going to throw it now to Kennedy Space Center where James Traley is tracking totality at Tupper Lake. James?
That's right, Daryl. Yeah, we are still in totality in Tupper Lake. We are nearing the end of our eclipse across North America. You can see our last target of the day, Holton, Maine, is all the way up here, almost off your screen. This speed of the eclipse shadow is moving so quickly across. The ground speed is about 2,000 miles per hour, so that is a fast clip. If you're in the path of totality, really take full advantage of those few fleeting moments to observe this moment. If you're not in that path of totality, or if you missed it, hopefully you didn't miss it because we've been tracking it all day here showing you. If you did miss it, I'm going to zoom way out here and show you what to keep an eye out for in the future. So This is going to be the Eclipse path in 2045. We're going to come through parts of Montana into North Dakota in 2044. 2045 is the next big eclipse across America. That's actually going to come, oops, I didn't draw here, there we go. That's going to come all the way from California into parts of Florida there. That is in 2045, so a long time to wait. So really take full advantage of those fleeting moments to be able to observe this moment. I'm going to click on Burlington here, who are also in that path of totality, experiencing that right now too. So just an incredible moment to really see all of this. And Tupper Lake, again, they're still, I think, experiencing that last fleeting moment there. That is just moving off. You can see that is officially now moved off Tupper Lake. Really a fantastic shot. They have that now, that diamond ring effect, that really beautiful shot there. This is, again, such a quick moment, and this doesn't happen very often. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime moment, so take full advantage of this. You can see just how close we are now to Holton, Maine, who are our last stop of the day on our NASA coverage here. This is then going to continue on into parts of Canada and beyond. Holton, Maine, they had some snow past couple days. It seems to have cleared up quite a bit more for them. Really hoping that that holds out for them. They are expecting a duration of 3 minutes and 20 seconds to be able to observe that totality at 3:32:05 local time. Really excited to see that view. You see that shadow creeping so quickly up to them up there. So let's check in with Angelique, who is up there in Holton, Maine. Hopefully it's beautiful weather for you. How's it looking up there, Angelique?
James, it is looking awesome up here. We are just a few minutes away from totality. You can hear people announcing it in the back, and people are getting excited, as am I. And here to share in all of that excitement with us is actually Dr. Eric Smith, the program scientist for the James Webb Space Telescope. Eric, it's so great to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here, Angelique. This is really exciting.
Eric, is this your first eclipse?
This is the first totality I'm going to see, so I am super psyched, and I am delighted to be here in Maine to experience it.
Yes, and so we've actually been kind of watching as it slowly gets closer and closer, right? And what are we're starting to feel it getting kind of cooler. We're seeing the shadows change.
Yeah, we're seeing the light is definitely different from when the sun sets and the shadows get a little diffuse. Here they're still sharp, but the light is diminishing. Your brain tells it something different is happening.
Something is definitely up. So, speaking of up, that's where the James Webb Space Telescope is. And what's interesting about the telescope is that it actually can't look directly at the sun, just like we can't.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about why that is?
Sure. We designed Webb to look for very faint things in the distant universe, so it's very sensitive for very faint things. Of course, the sun is very bright, and so we had to make sure that it could never look at the sun. We use solar power to power the spacecraft, but the telescope can't look at the sun.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, as it's starting to get a little bit closer to all of the cool phenomenon, the Bailey's beads, the diamond, let's go ahead and put on our glasses.
All right.
So that we can look up and continue chatting. Wow.
Just a little tiny
Just a little bit left. That is incredible. Wow. So, Eric, I have a couple more questions for you. Another thing that I was wondering about is how we can use actually eclipses to study exoplanets, which are planets outside of our solar system, using, I think, the transit method. Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Right now, during an eclipse, the moon...
Sorry, you can hear everybody getting excited. We're getting very close to totality here.
The moon is transiting in front of the sun just the way planets that orbit around other stars transit in front of the star. So Webb can look at those exoplanets and use the transit just like we're staring up at the moon transiting the sun.
Gotcha. And so a transit is, like you said, literally when something crosses in front of something else. That's
right.
Transit.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. So throughout the broadcast, we've actually been able to eclipse through different telescope feeds. Tell me a little bit about what the difference is between, actually, we're going to go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
We're getting really close. Oh my gosh, it looks like just a few more seconds until we are in complete totality. Oh my gosh. 5, 4, 3, here we
2,
go.
1.
Take off our glasses. We are ending now.
Oh, you see the coronal spikes.
My
Amazing.
That is
Beautiful.
incredible.
You can see a planet in the sky that you couldn't see before.
Oh wow! And I think
See
is that one of the Oh gosh, the
there's some
keyword I'm
drone.
forgetting
There's
now.
a drone up there in the sky too.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible, the rays that you can kind of just see coming off of the corona.
Yes, yeah. Stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
And you can see the gradation in the sky color down to the horizon
Oh
too.
my goodness.
Yeah.
I am seeing a bit of that 360-degree sunset.
Yes, yeah.
That is really cool.
It's amazing. Even though we're in the total shadow here, there's still the corona is still pretty bright.
It's incredibly bright.
You could read by the light of the corona.
I think I would have some trouble reading, but I probably could. I could technically read something. So Eric. Oh, and actually we have the International Space Station flying over right now, so they are actually seeing not one but two views of the eclipse. They're able to see not just the moon passing in front of the sun, but they're also able to see the shadow of the moon passing over Earth, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, I can hardly imagine a view being better than the one we have right now, but if there is one, it's
probably on the space station.
It's from the space station for sure. Wow. So yes, they're able to take some pictures of that, and that is just incredible. Just incredible.
One of the things they told people to do if you're far away was to hear how nature changed, and it was interesting here. We're of course surrounded by a lot of people, just to hear their reaction when we went into totality.
It's true, the humans in nature have not gotten quieter, but louder, I would say. But I mean, you can definitely hear the loudness has a different kind of character to it. There's almost like a, I mean, I don't know if wonder has a sound, but I think this might be it. Yeah.
Hushed awe.
Yes, hushed awe. That's wonderful, and I can see just one little red, protrusion coming down there.
Little red spots almost. I noticed those too.
That's cool. Now there are two.
Yeah.
Wow. That is just so cool.
Yeah, I like the 360 sunset. It's a little hard to see behind. It's,
oh, we've got at least two drones.
Yeah, some. Our robot overlords.
Of course. And so, Eric, I know that, I mean, clearly with the drones, people are starting to get involved in the eclipse, and I know that there are lots of ways that people can actually, one of those ways is with citizen science.
Right.
Do you mind talking about some of those opportunities, how people can actually...
Sure. We had citizen science programs where people could use their cell phones to take pictures during the eclipse. And
we're getting ready to come out of totality.
And here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's peeking out. Oh.
Everybody is cheering. We have just made it to the end of totality. We're starting to see the sun just peeking back out
amazing.
again.
Now just look at the ground, how much brighter it's gotten.
It's so much brighter. That is so wild. That was probably one of the most amazing but also fastest 3 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it all again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was incredible. Incredible to get to experience that here in Holton. Thanks so much to the city of Holton, and also thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for coming out with us and experiencing this wonderful event.
Oh, it was my pleasure, and congratulations to the city of Holton here for doing such an amazing job covering the eclipse. It was amazing. I mean, well orchestrated.
Above and beyond. Yeah. And I want to say, of course, a special thank you to photographer Dave Bowman, who has been giving us these incredible images from the telescope feed. And we're going to enjoy as the rest of the eclipse kind of ends here, going back in the direction that it came. And with that, we're going to send it back over to you, Megan.
All righty. Thanks, Angelique. So, Gina, I mean, what do you think? Like, we literally have just watched the eclipse travel, what, about 2,600 miles?
It's going across
Mexico to Maine.
Yes.
In like, what, about 88 minutes?
That's right. It's
so
fine.
fast.
That 1,900 miles per hour that the shadow's traveling.
I mean, did you have a favorite location?
For me, I think between Russellville and Dallas, just getting to hear some of my colleagues and their excitement too was amazing.
Oh my goodness, yeah, no. So, I don't know, I have to be a little bit biased. We did have some cloud cover here,
we did.
But to see it with your real eyes was just...
And we had that moment, which was
We did,
right?
yes. It was amazing. And so it's really cool, too, just to think about how millions of us now have this shared moment of what could be a once-in-a-lifetime event.
It's true.
And so, folks, we have time for some more questions from our viewers. And again, we have another great question from Mackenzie, who's in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
Let's roll it now.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie. I am in 3rd grade. My question is, what is the difference between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse?
Thank you for that question, Mackenzie. Okay, let's talk about the difference between the eclipses. Now, the solar eclipse that we had today is when the moon crosses between the Earth and the sun. But we also get lunar eclipses, and a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth crosses between the moon and the sun. So it's really about where the shadow's going. Today, we have the moon shadow projecting on the Earth. During a lunar eclipse, we have the Earth shadow projecting onto the moon. So that's the main difference there.
That we just saw, too, those incredible views from space,
That's
you
right,
know,
from
to
the
see that
space station.
second perspective view. And so I've got another question for you right now. It's going to be Eli on Reddit, who wants to know, there are quite a few solar eclipses in the world every few years. So why is this one scientifically interesting?
We do get solar lunar eclipses, maybe 2 to 3 a year. The total eclipse that happens today, total eclipses are about 1.5, and that is a rare opportunity for us to look at the corona, study the corona in a way during the other types of solar eclipses that we have. So
and during a solar maximum.
Exactly, during the solar maximum. So for this one particular, you know, we were talking about the solar activity that we were seeing on the limbs during totality. Yeah, there's just a bunch going on today.
And so too, right now we've got another view.
Oh, look at that.
These are live views from space, which is mind-blowing in general. And now we're also to see the moon shadow across the Earth. Wow. It is just amazing. So, you know, Gina, too, thinking about how many people in North America today witnessed this one moment that humanity has been experiencing for centuries. And, you know, there are different meanings for these events in different cultures. Let's check in with Joy in Dallas to learn about indigenous economy. Joy.
Hi, and welcome back to Dallas, Texas. I'm with Dr. David Begay. He's an indigenous astronomer and also a member of the Navajo Nation. David, thank you so much for joining us. So, when people think about science, they might be thinking of Western science. So, David, how does that relate to indigenous science, and what did the total eclipse mean to the Navajo people?
I think the eclipse goes way back from time immemorial, I'm told by my elders. And they knew that when you look at the sun directly, you can damage your eyes permanently. And so they knew that about the danger of looking at the eclipse with the naked eye. So people were encouraged to go inside to ensure they weren't looking up, especially kids. So it goes way back. And as far as eclipses, it's a time of renewal, the sun alignment with the moon and also the earth alignment. The whole cosmic cycle goes through a regeneration the process. So it's a gift that goes on for many years, over and over. It's a cycle. And as far as science goes, there's different definition of science.
Thank you, David. Yeah. Thank you. It's been an honor chatting with you. So thank you to everyone here for joining us. Thank you for the Arboretum for hosting us. for this very magical moment. This has been an experience of a lifetime and one that I won't forget. So let's head back to Tahira and Gina in Kerrville, Texas.
Thanks, Joy. We're joined now by Jamie Faber, Director of NASA's Weather Program, to tell us more about some cools that launched today during the eclipse. Welcome, Jamie.
Thanks, Tahira.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, how are you?
And so can you tell us, why did NASA launch rockets before, during, and after?
Sure, so it's really to capitalize on this situation. Things like daylight, sunset into, darkness, it happens so quickly that we can make these measurements one right after the next, understand very precisely what's going on in the atmosphere. With sounding rockets, quick back to back, the way we can't do with some of the really large rockets.
Oh. Jamie, how high did the rocket go, and what?
We just launched the second of those three just a few moments ago.
Oh.
So far, these particular rockets are getting about 200 above the surface, about where the International Space Station safe. Everything's.
Okay. We've got a playback of that right now. Oh, wow.
Sure. So from Island out in Virginia, on the Virginia Space Coast. So these rockets have multiple stages to them. So you're seeing one stage burn for a few seconds, then that drops off. The next stage will light to eventually take it all the way up to about that 200 surface, make those measurements in the upper atmosphere.
Wow, that looks incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and so what is that area of the atmosphere? Why do we care about it?
Yes, it's the upper part of our ionosphere. It's really from a perspective of heliophysics, where we really see a lot of that interaction with the sun and the earth. We care about it because that interaction can change the way our GPS signals work, our communication signals work, and even up a little bit higher, the influence of the Earth to change its density in a way that can impact the satellites orbit the Earth as well.
Okay, great.
And so, Jimmy, today we've been doing this fun poll, to see who is Team Sun, Moon, and Earth. What team are you?
Well, other than Team Science.
Don't make him choose the wrong answer.
Well, my bosses would make sure I go for Team Sun today for sure.
Oh, man. Well, thank you so much again. Thanks, Jamie. It is time now to say goodbye to our friend, James Traley, who has made sure we've known where and when to look up all day. James, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much to hear. It's fantastic tracking this eclipse. If you're still in the path of totality, you might be in a boat somewhere off the Canadian coast taking this all in. I hope you enjoy that fleeting moment. We had a big journey across eclipse board. You can see we started all the way down here in Mazatlan, Mexico. We've tracked all the way across now, like I said, Canada now into the Atlantic Ocean. It's been fantastic to track this. And if I turn on the shadow of our penumbra, you can see this highlighted area. Anywhere in there is still experiencing a partial eclipse. So if you're in that partial eclipse area, be sure to have your eclipse glasses at the ready so you can take in that fleeting moment. We just went outside a few moments ago here at Kennedy Space Center to take it in. It's fantastic, beautiful views. Really cool to see. You got like a little chunk out of the there for us here, only about 50% coverage, but still fantastic to see. Really, it's been too. That was the biggest concern I had going into the day here. It's been beautiful views here, and so really fantastic. It's really been a lot of fun tracking this with our clip. A big thanks again to our scientific visualization studio for putting this tool. Back to you, Tahira.
With us now is NASA Chief Scientist, Dr. Kate Calvin. Kate, welcome.
Hi, Kate. Hi, nice to be here.
So happy to have you back here again. I know we had the pleasure of sharing the stage together for the annular eclipse. Right. Now, with today's total eclipse, our viewers, what would you say is the number way from today's events?
I would say it's beautiful and understandable. We all got to experience this together today. We could predict when it would happen, and we did a lot of science today.
conducted. You know, how does that? I know.
Thank you. Do you have any final thoughts?
You know, this was amazing. Annular was great, but to hear the energy here.
The total was
so
just
great
a whole
to be
nother
with
level.
both of you, you know.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you know, a big thank you to the City of Texas, the Parks and Rec team, and all the people that made today's incredible event possible. I also want to thank our telescope operator Catherine Droach, for those great views of here in Kerrville. Folks, that is a wrap from Kerrville, Texas.
Thank you to Hira and Kate Calvin. And now check out who we have here at the host desk, the Josh Dobbs, who just signed on back for the 49ers. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. Just times. Obviously, I spent over at NASA Glenn during my time here. So it's cool to be back and taking the Eclipse Fest here in Cleveland, but looking forward to the future in San Francisco. I know NASA's doing some great work out there on the West Coast, so we'll be able to stay tuned to that as well.
Astronaut nickname comes from incredible plays you had last year, and also you have a background here with us at NASA with some extra but also you're an aerospace engineer. So how did it feel, specifically in Cleveland?
A year ago, in last season, the Eclipse coming straight through Cleveland. Once in a lifetime, and obviously Mark a year ago, and to make it back here, and take it in, you know, and get a chance to hang. I spent 2 years in. It's been great. I think like the biggest thing that I've in the city proud in the event today, and to be able to, you know, as well at the same time.
Seems so really committed to inspiring the next through discovery. Do you think maybe we create future science and engineers here today?
I think so. There's a woke youth walking around here and taking in not only obviously the blow-ups and the displays outside, but also the Great Lakes Science Center inside, and just seeing the history of the space program. And so that's just like NASA. That's been my approach. You know, I think the youth obviously is the next generation. They're going to have a tremendous impact on the world, and being able to inspire the youth out here, and the youth are really good at sports. You don't like you can go out, put all your eggs back at Bassin Dream.
Time for one other question. It's the most important we're going to ask you.
Okay.
Who was the star today? Was it the sun, the moon, or the earth? Say the right thing, Josh. Say the right thing.
It was the moon. I gotta go.
Yes!
I gotta go with it. I gotta go with the moon.
I agree. I do. All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Josh, and it was great to have you here with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
About this controversial but funny competition. So we asked you guys to vote. We have the results of that poll right.
Thank you.
26%. Team Sun 26% as well. But Team Moon 48%. Congrats, Team Moon.
Go
today.
Team Moon.
Participated. We were the real winners of today, though. Those who got a show. We're gonna send it back over to Indianapolis.
We are back here in Indianapolis. It has been an incredible day, and it is not over yet. With me, I have Jake Bleacher, the Chief Exploration Scientist for NASA. Jake, welcome.
I could not be happier to be
here. Eclipse, all about this. And I want to pivot a little bit here because you're getting astronauts ready to go back to the moon, live and work there, this time in 50 years. How the sunlight shines on the moon also very crucial to what we're trying to do there?
Yeah, well, just the celestial dance between the sun, the earth, and the moon. And when we go to the moon, we'll actually see instances of eclipses where the earth will eclipse the sun.
Wow.
So something to think about. But we're really interested in the lighting in the South Pole. Our Artemis 3 mission will land astronauts at the South Pole. And there, because the moon has almost no axial tilt, the light, the sun is always right along the horizon. Peaks have sunlight more than.
Can you describe how the instrument Ursa and Hermes are actually helping
space weather, so that radiation that astronauts will live in when they're actually there. So understanding your weather is for it.
A lot to be excited about. Jake, thank you for being here on this incredible day.
I would not have missed it.
Well, folks, that's all we have from Indianapolis. Thank you for joining us. It has been a wild ride time. So from us here, back to you guys.
Thank you, Lauren. I'd enjoy your pun. And now in Cleveland, we are joined by Jimmy Kenyon, Director of the Glenn Research Center. Thank you for joining us and for hosting us, really.
Absolutely.
The Glenn Research Center is right here in the only NASA center in the Midwest, only one in today's path of totality. Literally everything aligned for us to get a great show here.
Absolutely. It has been such a great show. Could not have asked for better weather. And it's spring west. That's always a little better weather. What a great outing. We're here with our partners at the Great Lakes Science Center, and which hosts our visitor center, so where the people are. And
yep.
It's a great opportunity for everybody here and connect them with what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hosted this wonderful 3-day event here, and all your visitors to come and explore and learn a little bit about Glenn. Why was it to you?
It's important, but well, as you know, having a little solar eclipse pass over your community is, for most people, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To have a total solar eclipse pass over a NASA community like Cleveland, that's even more rare. But what it does is it creates such a great opportunity to connect people with what we do. Mm-hmm. Everybody is here paying attention to our planet, paying attention to the moon and the sun, solar system. Great opportunity to say, this is what we connect people with that. And that's, you can't pass that kind of an opportunity up.
Right. And speaking of all, like discovery that we're enabling. Let's talk more about the science. You know, I know that
competencies of power and communications. No aircraft and no spacecraft flies without those three things, and they never will. NASA Glenn is literally NASA mission.
I mean, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and again hosting us wonderful events. I know so many people joined us here and really enjoyed it. were watching. We were looking out at the crowd.
Yeah.
Lots of smiles.
NASA Glenn on the map here for us.
Thank you, Jimmy. All right, and a big thank you to our whole team positioned across the path, from our core to our experts and our telescope operators. We couldn't have done it without all of you. And Sarah, this aerial shot in center, so beautiful. Such a wonderful way to experience my first total solar. I hope you had a good time too, because I know this isn't your first total solar.
It's great and special to be able to experience it with you and all of the folks here.
Yeah, we did notice that people right after, the people were like, whoa, and they were trying to get out. There's a lot of really fun events happening in Cleveland, so there's a lot of people in downtown. So I hope that they took some time. You know, NASA's Helios yet, you know, we had the annular eclipse, then we had the solar eclipse, and now talk to us about what's happening in December.
Yeah, coming up on Christmas Eve, in fact, Parker Solar Probe will make its closest approach to the sun, 3.9 million miles, which still seems like a long way to me, but apparently that's actually pretty close.
Yeah, I can't believe that's happening at all. We've been saying this all day, aligning. Everything is aligning for us to have. You know, Sarah, again, thank you so much. You know, we watched this together. Race across Mexico to Maine in only an hour and 28 minutes. Continue studying our sun, how it affects us, from all of us here at NASA, where everyone, thank you for watching.
Wow.
Okay,
Everybody just playing helicopters and drones.
The whole
is just
look here we go.
clouds are going to clear for us. And we have about 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
4
minutes
and 25 seconds
to be a
Yes. I mean, this really reminds you that you're on this one planet, you know, in this larger system.
And you have to be on this planet to see what we're seeing.
You do.
right
That's
now.
why we are Team Sun, Earth, and
Of totality in Dallas, Texas. Michael, what will happen when totality ends?
So as totality is ending, we'll go through the processing of a few Bailey's beads as the sun creeps out.
Dallas is back. Sorry, click off. Wow, the slither.
Around.
Wow. Whew.
I mean, it is unlike anything else. It's as amazing as seeing anything in the natural.
Thank you so much for being with us, and very, very, very special.
I feel honored to be here. We really are in a special place here, and I'm just so happy to share it with you.
Who's with the Eclipse moving across the U.S. James.
Really cool view there. It's insane to see how dark it gets. It's literally like nighttime there. You can hear the birds in the gardens. Absolutely beautiful. We got a bunch, just a few moments here. Our next eclipse path target here for the NASA broadcast is in Russellville. Long window too. 4 minutes and 12 seconds, 50:05 to be exact. Again, you can this with our Eclipse tool here. This is at go.nasa.gov/Eclipse Explorer. And you can see just how quickly it's moving. I'm playing this in real time. You can see that shadow. It's already moving very quickly to the northeast. And the fun isn't just for our friends on the path of totality, and there are a lot of people on that path of totality. About 31 million people reside somewhere on that path of totality. But there's a lot of people obviously outside of that path as well too. If I put on this overlay here for the percent coverage, a lot of folks, us included here in Florida, are experiencing that partial eclipse. As always, if you are in a partial eclipse, be sure to be wearing your eyesight. You can see these bands here are greater than 75% view. So say you're watching up in, I don't know, Milwaukee here, for example, you've got a great view, almost 100% coverage. You're not quite at totality. 89.4%. Looks like you got good cloud cover there. 20% cloud cover. So hopefully you got a nice view up there as well too. I've also put on this overlay here to show you just the amount of the duration of totality. A lot of our places are within this middle that are getting more than 4 minutes. It may seem like a lot of time, but as you've seen, just how quickly that can go by. It sounds like he wrote his whole dissertation, a 5-year, just a few moments there. This just passes so quickly. The next time you're going to have to wait for this, not going to be until 2045. So again, make sure you're previewing exactly when to expect that peak time of coverage wherever you are in our valley or even outside of that path. A lot coming up very soon. Again, our friends in Russellville look like they have birds there as well too. Only 9% cloud cover, so hopefully they're getting a really nice view. But let's check in with Jasmine up there to see. Hopefully you're looking there. How's it looking up in your way up in Russellville?
Just looking this way.
Everything absolutely fabulous here in Russellville. We could not have asked for better weather. So we are back in the downtown depot area, and joining us now is heliophysics expert Dr. Patrick Kane, all the way from DC. First total solar eclipse.
I'm incredibly excited. As I'm watching all of the changes of the crowd, as I'm watching all of the changes, I'm thinking back to the textbooks that I've read, and this is no longer academic.
Yeah, so it's very different than what we might read. But Patrick, just explain, describe.
Now, as I'm looking around, of course, here 30 minutes, but the light is dimming, and it's dimming faster and faster and faster. It seems like it's accelerating. The crowd is I'm looking around the ground to see if I see the shadow snakes. I don't, but this is just really exciting.
It really is. Honestly, like you said, we're feeling that cooler weather.
Yeah.
The crowd behind us just erupted. We're also feeling them fall a little bit quiet. Take a beat of silence as into totality, less than about 15 seconds away. We're going to also look over our shoulder with our eclipse glasses still on until we are in totality. Here we go. Just a sliver of the sun left.
Getting close. Getting excited.
The crowd.
Going. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Here we are.
Here we go.
And the crowd goes wild.
Oh my.
Wow.
We got these beads. Oh.
Absolutely stunning.
That is spectacular. We see Venus over to the side there.
And Patrick, it came and went so quickly, but we did see a diamond ring at the very beginning there. To us, what is that?
Sure, that diamond ring effect is due to the moon not being perfectly smooth. It's got mountains, it's got valleys. So just like here on Earth, when we see a sunset through a valley, we just watched a sunset through a valley on the moon.
Absolutely stunning.
Oh my.
So you said we could see one bit right there in the sky. Can we see any others?
That is spectacular.
Now, during what we're calling a solar maximum. Now, Patrick, does that mean that the sun is stronger right now than normal?
Not so much stronger, just more dynamic. It's changing a lot. During solar maximum, the magnetic field on the chaotic, it's more disorganized. So you send them directions for the
right.
That is
ready 2 minutes into totality.
There's even just a hint of a diamond ring down at the bottom.
I can see it. Yeah, we're looking at a diamond ring from Arkansas, the Diamond 8. Now, Patrick, of course, as we've been talking about it, this is part of what we are calling the heliophysics big year. You are a heliophysics extraordinaire all the way from Washington, D.C. So what does that mean?
Okay, so the heliophysics big year started out in October of last year with Eclipse. And of course, we take a pause here in the middle to watch this particular eclipse, but then it will end on December 24, 2024, when passes as close as it's ever going to get to the surface of the...
Wow, and I'm sure that means a lot to you because you worked on Parker Solar Probe about 20 years ago.
I worked on a concept study for Parker Solar Pro back when I was a graduate, 2002 or so. And back then, for it to actually dive into the sun rather than orbit the sun. So it was going to be a sun dive.
Wow, that is fabulous. This must be a very full swim for you, right, Patrick?
This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And that diamond ring has been Wait a minute. That's pink. What we are actually seeing is down into the chromosphere now of the sun.
We're going to put those solar glasses back on, of course. And the crowd just erupting, falling quiet again as they watch this magnificent